Okay, so today we're going deep on some pretty influential Islamic thought, right?
Yeah, some major stuff.
We're talking about Imam Al-Ghazali's Ulum al-Din.
The revival of religious sciences.
And to really get into it, we're also bringing in Al-Hafiz al-Iraqi's work, Al-Munni and Hamal al-Asfar.
Which is really all about verifying the hadith that Al-Ghazali uses in his book.
So our mission basically is to figure out why these scholars put so much work into these books.
Right, what was the driving force?
And also what it tells us about, how they saw different kinds of knowledge.
The value they placed on it, yeah.
Exactly.
So, Al-Ghazali, he was this brilliant mind back in 11th century Persia.
Yeah, Persia, we're talking modern-day Iran.
Exactly, and he wasn't just like some scholar sitting in a room.
Right, he was out there.
This guy was a seeker. He traveled all over.
Wow.
And his Ihya, it's just this massive guide to living a truly religious life.
Like comprehensive.
Totally delves into ethics law, the spiritual core of faith.
So it sounds like Al-Ghazali was really driven to make a difference.
Oh, absolutely.
He wrote other books too, right? But
Yeah.
the Ihya Ulum al-Din, it feels like his main work.
It's his magnum opus, you could say.
So what was he trying to fix? What was the big issue?
So this is what's really fascinating. He was deeply worried that people's understanding of religion had become shallow.
Okay, so just going through the motions.
Kinda, yeah. He saw this focus on rituals and legal arguments.
Which doesn't sound so bad on the surface.
But he felt like people were using them for personal gain.
Oh, so not for the right reasons.
Exactly. And meanwhile, the truly important stuff, the afterlife, inner purification.
On heart of faith.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that was being neglected. He wanted to bring back the authentic understanding.
The way the early Muslims practiced.
Right, the essence of it.
So a revival was needed,
Yeah.
and he structured the Ihya to do just that.
That's the brilliance of it.
It's not just a random collection of thought.
No, it's very deliberate. He breaks it down into 4 key areas.
Lay it on me.
Acts of worship, daily customs, the bad stuff within us, like vices.
Things that hold us back.
Yeah, and then the good stuff, the saving virtues we need to develop.
Okay, so a roadmap for the inner and outer life.
And here's the key. He starts with the Book of Knowledge.
Interesting. Why?
Because he wants to establish the foundation first. What is true knowledge?
Oh, so he's saying, hold on, before we even talk about how to live, we need to know what kind of knowledge matters.
Exactly. He's going back to the prophetic tradition.
So now let's bring in Al-Hafiz al-Iraqi, who comes along a few centuries later.
A giant in the world of hadith.
Right, which are the sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah, the foundation of so much Islamic thought.
So what did he add to this whole revival effort?
Okay, so his Al-Mughni is basically a companion guide to the Ihya.
A guide to the guide.
Yeah, because Al-Ghazali uses a lot of hadith to support his points.
Right, he's building his arguments.
And Al-Hafiz al-Iraqi comes in and meticulously checks every single one.
Wow, fact-checking for hadith.
He's verifying authenticity, tracing them back to their sources.
That's some serious scholarship.
It's a huge undertaking, and it adds this layer of rigor to Al-Ghazali's work.
Making sure the foundation is solid.
Exactly, because if the hadith aren't reliable, then the whole structure is shaky.
So we've got Al-Ghazali, the big picture guy, and Al-Hafiz al-Iraqi, the detail man.
A powerful duo.
What are some key ideas about knowledge that come out of their work?
So they both place huge value on knowledge.
Right, but it's not just about facts and figures.
It's way deeper than that.
Okay, so explain.
It's about understanding the knowledge, really internalizing it.
Not just memorizing.
Right, and then applying it to your life, actually living it.
So it has to transform you.
And ultimately, it's about spiritual growth.
So it's a means to an end.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm with you.
And Al-Ghazali makes this really important distinction.
Between,
Knowing the outward practices of religion.
like the rituals we talked about.
Yeah, and cultivating inner purity.
The state of your heart.
He's saying the inner stuff is crucial for true revival.
So you can't just fake it.
It has to come from within.
Okay, now they also talk about different types of knowledge that are obligatory.
Right. Yes, Al-Ghazali lays out this framework.
Right.
He calls it Ilm Fard M, which is knowledge that every single Muslim is obligated to seek.
So the basics.
The core tenets of faith, the essential practices for spiritual growth.
What everyone needs to know.
Right. And then there's Ilm Fard Kifaya,
Which is,
communal knowledge.
okay, so like shared responsibility.
Exactly. It's the knowledge that's needed for the well-being of the whole society.
So that can be religious knowledge.
Yes, like Islamic law or theology.
But it also includes things we might think of as secular.
Absolutely. Things like medicine, engineering, accounting.
So stuff that keeps society running.
And the idea is that if enough people in the community pursue these fields, then the obligation is fulfilled.
So everyone doesn't have to become a doctor?
Precisely, it's about balance.
Individual growth and the needs of the community.
Working together.
A beautiful concept.
And Al-Ghazali even takes it a step further. He categorizes all the different fields of knowledge.
Oh, wow, really?
He divides them into two main groups, Sharia and Ghost Sharia.
Okay, break that down for me.
Sharia are the religious sciences.
So knowledge that comes directly from the prophets.
Yeah, like understanding the Quran, Hadith, Islamic jurisprudence.
And Gaya Sharia.
That's the non-religious stuff.
So things like science and math.
Yep, medicine, philosophy, all of that.
And they see all this as important.
Even the stuff that seems worldly, it contributes to the well-being of the community.
So in their view, knowledge is all interconnected.
Absolutely, it all serves a purpose.
No, they really thought this through.
They were incredible thinkers.
So ultimately, what was the point of all this seeking knowledge for them?
Their ultimate goal was to draw closer to God.
Makes sense.
And to achieve eternal happiness in the afterlife.
So knowledge was a path to something higher.
It wasn't just an intellectual pursuit.
Al-Ghazali even talks about mukashafa, right?
Yes, the knowledge of unveiling.
So this is like a deeper level of knowing.
Exactly. It goes beyond ordinary learning.
It's more intuitive, spiritual.
And he says it requires a purified heart.
So you have to work on yourself to access this knowledge.
It's not just about reading books.
Wow. So much to unpack here.
These guys are deep.
I'm thinking about how relevant their concerns are today.
Even though the context is different.
We're bombarded with information constantly.
It's easy to get caught up in the superficial stuff.
Like just knowing facts without really understanding.
Or using knowledge for the wrong reasons.
So maybe we can learn something from their framework.
That balance between individual and communal knowledge.
And the importance of inner purification.
Yeah, food for thought.
It makes you wonder, what does it really mean to revive knowledge in our own lives?
Right. How do we find that balance between worldly expertise and nourishing our souls?
That's the question.
A question worth pondering.
Thanks for diving deep with me today.
It's been a pleasure.
And to everyone listening, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep that inner light burning.
May your knowledge be a source of guidance and blessing.
Until next time.
Take care. Peace.